Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Daniel, this is Johnny, and today we'll be talking about Young Justice Season 1, which we just got done binge watching on Netflix.
Basically, the premise is it takes the sidekicks, traditionally, of the Justice Leaguers, and it puts them in their own little team. And they do all these different missions, and it really just explores the dynamic of all those different sidekick characters.
Yeah.
And this arc, kind of, in the first season, explores them trying to figure out what is going on with this secret organization that's working all around the world and pulling all these strings, and it's a really interesting premise. What did you think about when we first started watching it and how they set it up?
Well, I was a little skeptical just because, like, growing up, I watched a lot of Spider-Man cartoons and a lot of X-Men cartoons, and I've admittedly don't know a lot about, like, DC outside of Batman. So I was a little skeptical. I was like, oh, who really cares about Robin? Who really cares about Aqualad and Kid Flash? Like, I was like, that's dumb. I was massively wrong. This is, without question, outside of The Dark Knight, my favorite DC thing.
So give us a little preface. This show was originally on about 5 years ago on Cartoon Network, and got the first season and the second season, and then it got canceled. It's kind of a shame because it's such a smart, well-written, interesting show, on a high level, on a lot of different levels. And I think it's a shame that it got canceled, and they're talking about renewing it for a third season on Netflix, and that we're kind of boosting the Netflix numbers as much as we can. But I think it's a really fantastic premise, and I think it's something that was so, especially 5 years ago when the superhero genre wasn't even as big as it is now.
Oh yeah,
In the mainstream media. It's a little unfair that it didn't get as much exposure as it could have, but I think a lot of people are really getting into it now. Of course, you're an example of that.
Yeah, you learn pretty quickly that it's not a Justice League show. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
not
see
at all. Not
right
at
off the bat. Anyways, you don't see a lot of Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and things like that.
Yeah.
You see the younger versions.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine because you learn what those characters are about.
Yeah.
In this story arc, it's more about the younger Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Young Justice. Aqualad, obviously. Was that a made-up character for the show?
No, that's canon. His name's Calderon, then you have Garth, and then Aqua Girl is Tula.
Right.
So those are all part of Aquaman's
I
family.
I didn't even know that. Obviously, everybody knows Robin. Everybody knows. Well, not everybody knows.
Superboy.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big one.
All the big
Kid
characters.
Flash is really Wally West, which is an adult Flash later on.
Yeah, but just the way they set it up, it's really, really cool. They get you right into it. There's not really much waiting around, like, oh, is this going to be a Justice League show? It's not. It's about...
They make it clear.
It's about the younger team, and they set some things off, some stories, right in, like, the first episode. They were like, whoa. And they do so many callbacks. The writing on the show to do all the callbacks, you can tell they spend so much time planning it out, like, the entire season, and then they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do every episode, which is how you write a season for every show.
Yeah.
But the writing on the show, the planning and the details are completely blew me away.
The writing is phenomenal. I mean, for a children's show, quote unquote, it's like through the roof. It's so smart too, and just not even. I agree. The plot is really great, and like you said, it's really there's a lot of weaves and turns and callbacks, and it's so tightly written. And then apart from the main plot itself, the characters are just so well realized, and they have perfect motivations and secrets and all these different quirks, and you fall in love with the characters.
Yeah, and they'll feature a character for like an episode or two, and then they'll always be in all the episodes pretty much.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
But they'll have a Superboy
centered one,
centered episode, or a Robin centered one, or Artemis, or whatever.
Yeah.
And each one of those mini stories lays the groundwork for another, and they all come back to the big story at the end.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's I couldn't believe it. It was like it was perfect storytelling.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
and
there's no doubt.
Obviously, like, you can't, in an animated show, you're not looking for acting, you're looking for voice acting, which is completely different than actual like acting for like live action stuff. Alright, since you do get to meet so many new characters, what characters stick out to you?
Oh man, so many. It's hard. It's kind of like picking your favorite kid. Like, I don't have kids, but there's just, each of them is cool and like special in their own way. And I don't know, I think Aqualad really stands out to me.
He's my least favorite character.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. He comes from a special like place. Obviously, he's an Atlantean, and there's just so much pressure on him to succeed. And I really like his backstory and how he wants to try and be a great leader, and he has to make a bunch of tough decisions too. As a big Batman fan, I really like Robin. And this Robin's Dick Grayson, which is my favorite Robin. He it's funny because you can kind of guess, obviously knowing the character, where he's going to end up, and it's cool to kind of see how he starts and how he's trying to work as a team with all these different guys.
I think Miss Martian is probably my favorite.
I love Miss Martian.
Or Kid Flash. Those two are like...
I really like them.
They stand out to me like...
Miss Martian, she is a great character.
She seems the most powerful.
She is very powerful,
and
absolutely.
She's just the cutest character on the show.
Yeah.
And
she just has a lot of... she has a lot of personality, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny you say you like Miss Martian and Kid Flash, and those are usually the two of the most personality.
I think they're the two most likable characters, because they're...
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree, because Miss Martian, she's obviously, in the show, she's new to Earth. She's just come here from Mars. And so she is so naive and lighthearted, and she kind of, almost like she doesn't, like, really get the gravity of the situations they're in sometimes. And Kid Flash, he's he's a wisecracker, he kind of doesn't take things seriously. He's always, messing around and making jokes. So
yeah, he sticks out his
humor,
and his
especially his
abilities are he's fast.
Yeah.
Ms. Martian obviously is like a broken character. I feel like most of the characters have a part of their backstory. They're just like a broken person.
Oh, absolutely.
In some way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Kid Flash doesn't seem to be like that too much, as far as I remember from the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Robin doesn't seem to be like that as much, but definitely Superboy, Miss Martian,
Superboy. Yeah.
Superboy. What did I say?
We need to talk about him.
Yeah. Artemis, definitely. She's probably my least appreciated character.
I think she's
a huge part of the story.
Definitely. Oh yeah, she ties in
and
ways.
She's just super, like, she's really relatable because of her backstory, which I'm not going to ruin it, but like she's a really, like, has a broken past and has to, like, seems like she's really struggling emotionally, but she tries to hold it together for the team.
Because she's thrown into the situation where she has to hold her own to help the team, otherwise which is part of it. As you said, a lot of them do come from broken situations, and that's why it's so great and their team works so well, is because they all know how that feels like, and so when they're in this team, they feel like they're doing something worthwhile. And that's a really cool thing to see. So
what do you think about the biggest part of the whole story, I'll say, which you learn very early on, and it's not going to ruin anything, is like Superboy. Yeah. He kind of holds the whole show together. Now, he doesn't hold the show together.
The show is
his
born out of his story.
Yeah, so his storyline is basically the main thread, if you will.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
The interaction between him and Superman very early in the season is hilarious, but also sad at the same time.
Yeah, Superboy,
because neither one of them knows how to handle it, and you're like, oh, it's Superboy and Superman. This is it's easy for them. But Superman is blown away just like everybody else, and he kind of doesn't want anything to do with the situation.
Yeah, I agree.
And Superboy is the most broken character because he literally was thrown into the situation without his own.
he didn't ask to be a part of the team. Yeah,
he had no choice.
And
overall, obviously, we're just talking about season 1. We haven't talked about the whole series yet, but just season 1. What are your short thoughts about it overall, and what would be a score that you would give it?
Definitely an amazing show. Really does a great job of establishing the characters, their dynamics within the team, the storylines, which there are many of, and the action is great, the animation is great, the voice acting is great, the writing is great. There's nothing not to love about the show. So to me, it's a 10 out of 10. Especially when you're talking about an animated show that is for kids, was on Cartoon Network. This show is just everything you could want and more, especially from the premise that they start with.
I would have to go back to the initial press releases about the show and see if they actually was specified that it was a kid show, because it's not a kid show. As adults, we enjoyed the show.
Obviously,
it's not like
But I mean, you could say the same thing about Pixar movies.
Yeah,
those are geared towards kids, but
yeah,
everyone loves them. So
But yeah, this is not. I mean, if you're an adult and you like,
Oh yeah,
comic books at all?
of course I agree. 100%.
yeah, watch the show. It's not a kid's
Watch
show at
the
all.
show,
Just because
yeah.
it's a cartoon doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No doubt.
The animation, good. Storyline, good. The writing for the entire season, from episode to episode, was just phenomenal. Completely blew me away.
Consistently great.
The character development was crazy good and super, super important for laying the groundwork. And I feel like next season they're going to explore, like they laid the foundation, now they can explore everything else in the, you know, this is a,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
you know, an ever expanding situation, it seems like. The storytelling, A+.
Yeah, yeah.
The character development, A+. I have no other choice to give it than a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
it's a 10 out of 10 show.
It's really great.
Season 1, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a really big TV person per se, and the only show I've ever watched religiously as it was happening has been Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And this show is I enjoy watching the show as much as Game of Thrones. Like I love these characters. I love the story that they're telling, and it's just, if you love DC Comics, if you love superheroes, watch this show. It doesn't matter how old you are. You will enjoy the story. It's absolutely worth your time, and the show needs your support. So watch the show, boost the numbers, buy the Blu-rays, and hopefully we can get a season 3 out of this, and we'll finish season 2 sometime soon.
Please subscribe to our channel so we can keep making good videos for you guys. Thank you.